Learning English language or learning any language during your sleep. Is it possible for you that you are falling asleep and you are just sleeping and you are memorizing the new language, English language, you are mastering the vocabulary and there is no effort, you are just having your sound sleep, and with that sound sleep you are learning English language or any language of the world, because it's a reality that learning any new language requires our effort. It's not quite easy, it's hard process and it's a natural process. One day I was scrolling just YouTube videos and I found a video that named that learn English while you are sleeping, while you are asleep. At first sight, it was a so ridiculous idea for me. It was so silly that how can you learn English language because I was thinking from the perspective of a language learner, because there are complex rules, there are certain ways, methods to learn a new language. And this specific video was saying that you can learn language, English language or any other language or skill while you are asleep. And it was so funny for me. Why it was funny for me? Because when we are awake, when we are not fall asleep, it seems quite impossible for us to learn a new language. And you are sleeping and you say that you can learn and you can master a new language, you can master the vocabulary, the complex structures. How is it possible? I was thinking from the perspective of a language learner, and then I conducted different researches because I was curious. Is it possible to learn English language while you are asleep? While you are sleeping and you are memorizing all the rules, regulations, grammar, sentence structures, complex structures which you are unable to master in your living state. You are memorizing all those in your sleeping condition. Then I conducted different kinds of researches, and the first research which I conducted was from livestock natural, which says that absorbing complex information or picking up a new skill from scratch, listening to an audio recording during sleep is almost certainly impossible. The very first research which I conducted, and which was from the live natural resource, it conducted that anything new which we want to learn from the scratch is next to impossible during your sleep. This was the first research. But researches shows that sleeping brain is far from idle. It's not idle. Brain is not idle. Brain is not slow when you are sleeping. That some form of learning can happen. And this article at the last said that some form of learning can happen. And now we will find out the next researches. Over the years, scientists conducted many researches over this, that is it possible to learn English language or learn any new language while you are sleeping? Something ridiculous. Now this is another article, shows that multiple studies have found that a basic form of learning called conditioning can happen during sleep. And multiple studies now reveal that a certain form of learning called conditional learning can happen. Now further, in 2012, a study published in the journal Nature Neuroscience, for example, Israeli researchers found that people can learn to associate sounds with odors during sleep. The scientists played a tone to sleeping participants while unleashing a nasty spoiled fish smell. Once awake, upon hearing the tone, the people held their breath in anticipation of a bad smell. And what is meant by this? Now 2012, a research was conducted by Israeli researchers. Now what happened? When participants, when people were who were being conducted an interview or a test, they were falling asleep. They conducted a research. While they were sleeping, a music was played, a specific tone, a specific music was played. With that, they unleashed a bad smell of fish was unleashed. What happened? When the participants have waken up, the tone was again played. And now the participants who were sleeping, they anticipated that now the next step would be the smell of the fish, the bad smell of the fish, and they held their breath. This is called conditioning. When you associate one thing with the other, they associated tone, they associated music with the bad smell. Now next research, what it says, although the memory was implicit, it could affect the people's behavior. Researchers found in 2014 study published in the Journal of Neuroscience. Now it was the research conducted in the Journal of Neuroscience, and this research was conducted in 2014. In that research, smokers used fewer cigarettes after spending a night being exposed to the smell of cigarettes paired with rotten egg and spoiled fish. Now, what happens? In 2014, a research was again conducted, and now this research was conducted on the smokers. What is meant by smokers? Who smoke a lot, who smoke with their cigarettes. When they were sleeping, when they fell asleep, the cigarette of smell and the cigarette of rotten or the bad smell of fish and the rotten egg was also released. What happened? When they have waken up, they associated the cigarette of the smell with the smell of the fish, and they stopped smoking for a while. And this is called conditioning. This is called conditioning when associate one thing with the other. This is called conditioning. Next research, in their 2017 study published in the journal Nature Communications. 2017 research, Nature Communications. Subjects were able to pick up complex sound patterns that they heard during sleep. Learning abilities may extend to learning of words, and this study says that learning may extend to learn more words. In a study published in the journal Current Biology in January, researchers played pairs of made up words and their exposed meanings, that goga means elephant, to sleeping participants. After this, when wake up, people performed better than by chance. They performed better by chance when they had to pick up the right translation of made up words in a multiple choice test. And what happens now? In 2017, another research was conducted. Now, the sleeping participants were exposed to multiple choice words like goga with elephant, and now they were given the multiple choice test and they were able to perform better in that test. This research says that people are able to learn few words. Next research, what all these studies have common is that they show an implicit form of memory. It's not some knowledge they will be able to use spontaneously because they don't know this knowledge is even Andrelian. And other scientist says that learning a new language involves different layers. Learning a new language involves different layers: recognizing the sounds, learning the vocabulary, mastering the grammar. So far, research suggests it may be possible to get familiarized with tone and accent of knowledge of a language. What it says. Andrelian conducted a research and he says that learning a new language is a complex phenomena because it requires recognizing of tones, learning vocabulary, and mastering the grammar. So it's not possible when you are asleep and you are mastering the grammar and you are mastering the vocabulary and you are recognizing the complex sounds. How is it possible? This Andrelian says. We will at the last sum of the whole discussion. What is meant by this? Okay, what we are already do all the time during the day without noticing. This research says that the capacity to learn new things while sleep is weaker and lesser than we learn without noticing during the daytime. The capacity during sleep is weaker than the capacity of unnoticing learning during the day, this research says. And then you have to consider the cost. Andrelian said the cost of learning new language during sleep. Stimulating the sleeping brain with few new information likely disrupt functions of sleep, negatively affecting the pruning and strengthening of what we have learned over the previous day, he said. While losing quality sleep to potentially learn a few words is not a smart trade-off. What is meant by this? Andrelian, another scientist, says that you learn a few words during your sleep, but you are sacrificing your sleep, you are disturbing your sleep, and you are not going to a sound sleep. It negatively affects your brain, and it's not a smart thing, it's not a good thing. Next, researchers, what they say, researchers continue to study sleep learning because the compromise may be worth in special. For example, sleep learning could be useful when people need to change a habit or alter stubborn disturbing memories in the case of phobias and smart post-traumatic stress disorders. This is, and now we have to conclude that while it is possible and while it is effective to learn a new language, a complex language, an entirely new skill while we are sleeping. For example, dear audience, you have to comment in the comment section, is it possible for you to learn a new skill, a new language, new words, new vocabulary, and can you master grammar during you are sleeping? And for example, if you are sleeping, if you are in your sound sleep and some kind of noise is heard in your ears from outside, if someone is reading and if someone is studying aloud, is it possible for you to have a sound sleep? This will affect your sleep. And when you are not having a good sleep, when you are not having a sound sleep, how can it is possible? And after waking up, you will feel that I am exhausted, I am tired, and you will feel irritated because you will not feel fresh. So the very next point is that don't sacrifice your sleep, don't disturb your sleep patterns, because it will negatively affect your memory. Your memory will be shortened by this. The research says that. So if you have a sound sleep, if you have a good sleep, if you have a quality sleep, then your memory and your brain is smart enough to learn better and better, and you can master any new language, any new learning. And there are also exceptions. If you are one of the exceptions, let me know in the comment section, and I would be highly glad to know that you are an exception and you can learn new words, you can learn new patterns, you can learn new language while you are sleeping. If you are dead, and someday it may happen that science may make breakthrough in it, but it is going to be impossible, because if your sleep is disturbed, your entire personality is disturbed, your entire functioning is disturbed, and your learning capability is disturbed, and you cannot take the things as you can. So this is very much ridiculous and silly for me, and so I have conducted different kind of researches. I have gathered the resources, and I have concluded, and I am concluding all this discussion to this pattern that learning during sleep is a silly thing. And if you are learning a few words, you should not disturb your sleep. Have a sound sleep, have a good sleep, so that your brain is capable of learning the complex patterns, the complex grammar, and you can master the vocabulary, you can master the complex sounds of the language. Because learning an entirely new language in your sleeping period is not possible. What can you do? You can have a conditioning. Conditioning is that you can associate different tones with different smells. All that is possible during sleep, nothing else. What kind of video you would find it, let me know in the comment section, and kindly share, like and subscribe my channel, so that I get have more knowledge for you. And for more informative videos, stay tuned, stay blessed, stay happy, and stay connected with Gul Knowledge Hub. Thank you.